Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We are here in the garage today, because we are going to talk about hay. We're going to talk about grass hay today. So we have actually two kinds of hay in the barn here. We have alfalfa hay over here, and we have grass hay over here. Okay, now we had a bale explode because this lady decided to eat the strings. So yes, we had a bale explode, so there's a bale all over the ground here, which is being fed to our animals. We are just picking it up and feeding it to them because we might as well. But this here is grass hay. Okay? Here we've got grass hay. So I'm going to talk about alfalfa hay another time, but today I just want to talk about grass hay. Because the best place to start when feeding your miniature horse is a decent grass hay, minus the cat. Don't add cats to your hay. Anyway, so the best place to start is the grass hay when you're figuring out how to feed your mini and what your particular miniature horse needs. The type of grass that you're going to be feeding depends on where you live. So where we are, this is mostly Timothy. Okay, that's majority of what we have in our hay fields is Timothy. But where you live, you might have Bermuda, you might have fescue, it depends. Where do you live? That depends entirely on, what kind of hay you're going to get. I said that wrong. That doesn't matter. What I'm saying is where you live dictates what kind of grass your hay will be comprised of. So for us, it's mostly Timothy. Might be something else where you live, depending on where you are. The quality will also vary. So when you're getting your hay, you do want to check, first of all, you want to check that it feels okay, that it's not super damp. You want to check that it has a decent color. Now, hay is dried grass. That's what hay is. So it will be dried grass, but it shouldn't be super yellow. It's okay if it has some of these thicker yellowy stems. That's not bad. But for the most part, it should be grass that looks like dried grass. So it should have a green hue. Okay, that's what you should have. So it should have a decent color. It should smell good. So when you pick up a bale of hay, you should just smell hay around you. It shouldn't smell moldy. It shouldn't smell funky. It should just smell like hay. So check the smell. You also want to check the cleanliness. So this is nice, clean hay. All right, this stuff is nice, clean hay. There's no dirt, there's no mold, there's no gross stuff. It's just good hay. That's what you want. You want stuff that's nice and clean. Don't feed your horse, your miniature horse, goobers. Okay? No goobers. No goobers in our hay. You don't want that. Nutritional quality of your hay. Unless you have it tested, there's no way to know for sure. Now, we don't test with the hay. You can. You certainly can. You can send samples of the hay away, and depending on where you live, how far away, depends. For us, it's just the local university will test it. But you can get a nutritional content analysis. So what you're looking for is the crude protein, the digestible energy, and the minerals present in the hay you've got. Okay? Just can't. So if you are going to send it away for testing, that's what you're looking for. But testing is not always necessary. We don't test. Have I tested here and there? Yeah, but I don't really bother anymore. Okay, I just don't. It doesn't matter. If you're not going to test, you want to monitor your horse for changes. So many horses, their body condition will change pretty quickly. So you'll notice if they're lacking something pretty soon. So keep an eye on your mini, and if they kind of decline in body condition a little bit, your nutritional quality of your hay might not be quite what they need. So I'm not saying get rid of the hay, but instead you want to maybe supplement with a feed or supplement with another type of hay, so you're feeding two types of hay at the same time, whatever. But you may have to supplement a little bit. We generally don't have to, and remember, minis kind of get fat on air, so generally you don't have to supplement all that much. So, depending on where you live, fescue might be an issue. It's a type of grass. If you've never heard of fescue, you're probably in an area that doesn't have it. We don't have a lot of fescue. But if you do, especially if you live, down in Tennessee, down in Kentucky, you probably have a lot of fescue in your grass. And that is a type of grass. Fescue is a legitimate type of grass. And it makes a fine hay. It makes a nice hay. Generally, it's a good quality hay for your animals. However, if you have pregnant mares, avoid it. DK's joining us too. Hi, DK. So if you have pregnant mares, you want to avoid fescue. Okay, it's not good for pregnant mares. It can cause problems with the developing baby. And even if they carry the pregnancy to term being on fescue, they'll probably have difficulty producing milk. Okay, do not feed fescue to pregnant mares. If you have absolutely no choice and you have limited options, at the very least, take your pregnant mares off the fescue hay 60 days before they're scheduled to deliver. Okay, so those last couple of months of your horse's pregnancy, take them off the fescue. Otherwise, fescue is okay to feed to horses. It's just a pregnant mare shouldn't have it. So if you're just raising, like Shadowfax could have fescue, he's just a little guy. He's not having babies because, one, he's a boy. Two, I don't breed mini horses. So he could have fescue. It's only an issue if you have pregnant mares. So it's okay if you're using fescue hay. It really is. Sometimes people are under the impression that their fescue hay isn't any good, so they have to get more expensive hay or import hay or whatever. You don't have to. Unless you have pregnant mares, you seriously do not have to get special hay brought in. So it's fine. Fescue is fine unless you have pregnant mares. So the other thing I want to mention is green feed. Okay, we don't have green feed here. Green feed is cereal grains like oats and barley baled on the stalk, like they're cut from the stalk of those plants and baled. And it looks kind of nice because it's fairly green, but green feed is really for cattle. It is not good for horses. So do not feed green feed, feed hay. Dried grass is what you want. Okay, that's what hay is. All hay is dried grass. The type of grass might be different, but you do want dried grass, so hay only. Straw is also not food. Okay, attack each other. Straw is also not food. Okay? Straw is not food, it's bedding. So straw is not an adequate food for your miniature horse. You might catch them chewing on their straw bedding here and there, but they should not be eating straw on a regular basis. So if you catch your mini horse snacking on his straw, that doesn't mean he can suddenly have straw as a food source. That just means he's chewing on it because he's weird. Don't use straw. So no green feed and no straw. And if you have pregnant mares, no fescue. Otherwise, most grass hay is perfectly adequate for your miniature horse. Okay, you can get a standard grass hay. Maybe it has a little alfalfa. We'll talk about alfalfa hays next time. But either way, any grass hay will do in most situations. Unless you have a mini horse that has specific needs, probably any grass hay will do it. So that is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. We're just going to watch DK walk across the rafters. Anyway, that is it for us here today at Andersen Acres. We'll see you tomorrow.